Thank you. Again. Yeah, 2 times. So, we'll be talking about some SAT TV receiver things. We try to show some high-level technical things, and we will be talking about specific risks. Fun stuff, I guess, I hope. So, I already said that in Spanish, so I'll not repeat it again. It's just, I'm really happy to be here in Ekoparty, but till now it's the best conference I've seen, actually. So, agenda. We'll do a quick introduction, and then we will be showing different wrong things that going wrong. And we close with thank you and some questions, if there are some questions. So, why SAT TV receivers? So, actually, why I started looking into those devices, long story short, it's long story short, right? So, about a year or so, my wife bought me a SAT TV receiver. She said, okay, stop doing some computing, here new SAT TV, it's HD, you can watch TV, you can think like this. Things didn't work well, so I've been spending time with the SAT TV, but not with the TV. And it's interesting. So, first reason. Actually, there's a couple of reasons why people want Sun TV for free. One of them is football. And mine is football, and my country is much more into football. I guess like Argentina. And you know this guy? Okay, so what we are talking today is about receiving channels through satellite. We are not talking about some IPTVs or things like this. It's about the signals that we receive through satellite. So, how those pay TV got scrambled and how the system works, and we will be talking about some attack vectors, and this is the main reason why those satellite boxes are just joining the Internet of Things. So, the scrambling algorithm is described easily as a high level. It's much more about a control word that is used to scramble the system at the back end, and it's encrypted within one of the 2 entitlement messages. And those are attached to the scrambled system and sent through the air. So this is the main simple concept of pay TV stuff. When once it's received into the STB set-top box, the control word is extracted from the ECM, from one of the entitlement message within the smart card, and then it is used to descramble the stream. So this is the thing. So actually you need to have an official subscription with official smart card specific to that provider channel. You know, there's a lot of providers, and once you have that subscription, you can extract the control word and descramble the signal and just watch TV. And this is what you are paying for, you know, when you have this smart card and you have a subscription with any provider. What made the difference? I mean, how things are going. So, I mean, that's going like many years ago. We used to have like proprietary set-top boxes. So those set-top boxes are linked to a specific provider. So every provider had his own set-top box that sells you, and with that set-top box you can see his channels. So they are actually linked. Now there's like what we call about open set-top boxes. Those open set-top boxes are just Linux devices, or they have just a firmware inside. No, they are much more like Linux devices that have like many software inside, and they just can process any signal from any provider. So the thing is that why those devices are so common now, because they are supporting multiple providers. You don't need to be linked to a specific provider. So for example, for us in Algeria, you can just see Spanish Canal Plus and French channels and German ones. So we can just switch from one to another. Case study. This is actually the one I've got when I started this research. The manufacturer is Forever, and this is my first one I started working on. If we take a look at it, actually this it's better than my PC, you know, when I made my graduation. So if you can see, it's like 256 megabyte RAM. It has a Realtek network. I didn't have it actually at that time. It has like 2 gigabit of RAM, and it has even some of them know they also have what we call is just a connector for a SIM card. So you can just put a SIM card there and just get connected to through 3G. So they are much more like computers. They are powerful, and they can do anything you can do, you know, on a Linux OS system. Things are getting much more easy because now we have different, you know, processors that are designed to be used in a set of boxes. For example, this STI, the STI 7111. This is the processor that I have. It's a SH4. It has a 450 megahertz processor CPU inside. And if you take a look at the whole processor, it's just made to be used in a set-top box. So it has all the entries that you need. It has the entry to the tuner, to infrared, to HDMI. It has everything. So the manufacturers, what are doing is just getting those processors, put them into a main board, designing the main board, put them, and just connect the components. And they have a set of boxes. And then what they need is just running any Linux. Generally, it's a BusyBox, and they just have one main application inside that just, you know, design the user interface into the TV, and that's it. So we are seeing many, many different kinds of those devices, but at the end, they are the same. What could possibly go wrong? So, you know, it's okay. Oh, okay. So things are okay. Just, you know, the user's just seeking free TV. Everyone has his reasons and things like this. So what brings them to IoT, to Internet of Things or Internet or whatever, you know? Anyone needs to scroll. So we used to have some set-top boxes not designed for pay TV. They are just for free-to-air and things like this. When I remember, there was some software running. They were like emulators that emulate and decrypt the channels and things like this. Then came the conditional access system. So there, people started cloning smart cards. So I have already a bunch of them, but I don't use them for piracy. And then. Since cloning those smart cards is not possible or costly, people moved to another kind of attack. It's called the card sharing. This is very, very, very common into country where they don't have some provider representative people or something like this, like North Africa, like Middle East, even in Europe, etc. So how things work is that the name is card sharing because people are sharing those of their official card with other people. So this is actually legal within the same house. For example, if you have this set-top box, you have your official card, and you want in another room have another TV and watch the channels, etc. So within the internet, you can have a LAN network and use some specific softwares that within the second set-top box, you are not using the smart card because it's not there. But there's some software that supports some protocols where you go extract the key from the other devices. So this is a card sharing. So one device can share a card with different other devices. So now people are starting to make business of this, and we are finding many, many, many card sharing servers. What we call the card sharing server is that like someone just build a server or use any open set-top box, etc., and connect to it different official cards. So they buy those cards, actually. They connect to them officially, and they run some software. One of the server one is OSCAM. You can take a look. It's open source, I guess. It's open source. You can have the source code and check it. So those cards are connected to that card server, and then what they do is they sell subscription to people. So wherever you are a client, you have what we call any plugin. It's just a software that supports a specific protocol. So for example, you can say CCCAM, MGCAM, Gbox. There are different plugins that you install on your set-top box. So when you switch from one channel to another one or try to decrypt the channel, those software just connect to the server, card sharing server, and grab the keys from there and just decrypt the channel. So it's like these guys are sharing, or actually selling you access to their official card. So, okay. So things how it works is that generally we have a guy that we don't know who is that guy that buys some card with any stolen credit card or something like this, and then they create accounts. And there are some what we call resellers. Those resellers, what they do is either they install those softwares with a specific account in the user devices, or just send them by mail, or just install remotely, etc. So the end user ends up with a plugin installed on his device that connects to a server and grab the keys and decrypt descramble the TV channel signal, and he can watch TV. Actually, he can just, in Algeria, it's like $3 or $4 a month, US dollars, you have access to like 200 channels or something like this. So it's very, very cheap, and people are making business from it. Okay. The thing is that if you look at those plugins that support protocols, you don't know the origin. I've been looking to find who developed those, so you will not find who developed those software and who is putting them on internet. And sometimes if you are looking, you can find the same version with different hash. So things start going a little bit not good, as you know, we don't know who is building those software. We don't know the guy that hosts the server. We don't know the people that are reselling or installing those stuff. And actually, the user doesn't care about what's happening in his STP. He just goes, and sometimes those plugins and those accounts are shared on forums. So the user is just downloading and installing whatever. So he just wants to watch football. What could possibly go wrong? So here they're starting to see something that looks like not good. We start talking about vulnerabilities. So I've been looking to those devices, like 3 manufacturers and like 5 devices. They all share the same vulnerability. They are connected to internet. They are Linux boxes, and they share the same vulnerability. Those vulnerabilities are categorized in different categories. Some of them are based on the design. Actually, the full design is wrong. The update system, there are some systems, we talked about update system, any protections, any segregation of roles, and anything there. So, actually all of the devices, they have root without password. The root account is without password. So if you scan those ranges, I've been making some script that scans some IP ranges looking for some signatures. And I find a couple of devices. Those devices are generally in a LAN, local area network, so you cannot find them facing internet, but some of them are just using some SIM cards and connected through 3G directly. So some of them I'm finding that they have like 2 of them from the same provider. They've been using a dummy account that is not used anywhere, and it's root privileges. It's dummy actually, so you can log at any boxes with dummy. So I was showing. So the thing is that how user installs those devices, they just download them from. I mean, not those softwares. They just download them from internet, put them in a USB stick, and they just plug them into the set-top box. So from there, the device will install that software, and everything should be okay. So I've been using this method in order to root the devices. So what I've been doing is building a plugin that simply just drops a reverse shell and then install it and see what's happening. So we can have those devices are running on SH4. I've been using a VM, QEMU, working on. You can also just use ST Linux. They offer a bunch of tools for course compiling and stuff like this. So I don't know. This is a PDF version, so I need to go another place and grab the video. Okay, that's it. Okay, is it okay? Should I zoom? It's okay. So this is just for window. The first one is the VM I'm running. Thank you. The second one is a shell on the VM where I'm making the simple reverse shell. It's just a simple code. Here, third window, this is no signal. This is my TV. And here where I expecting my reverse shell. So let's do. So it's just compiling. This is a simple reverse shell. Okay. So I bring it to my machine. Come on. I'm not too good into keyboarding. Take a lot of time. So. Okay. So it's SH4, 32 bits. This is the target architecture. So the thing is to create, the plugin is just simple. It's as simple. It's just a set of folders, a structure for folders. You need to put the binary in specific place. And it should be like a folder called plugin and then bin inside and you put your binary there. So once you plug this USB key into your set-top box, it will install the thing automatically. So this is what the users are doing. They are downloading from internet, from sharing forums, and just installing stuff on there. So each thing should be moving here. Come on. Okay, so it detected as a plugin. It's downloading from the USB. It's installing. I need to skip a part here because it will take time to load. And yes, I have an LG TV. Come on. Okay, here. No, detected it. It installed it. Okay, that's cool. So from now, those plugins are available into the menu, plugin, and here we have the plugin. They can be started automatically or manually. So this one is manually. It's set up to manually run. So I run it. Come on. It's running. And here we have the shell. So this is a way, easy way to get shell on those boxes, you know, for study, actually. So this is a shell on the box. Let's go back to the presentation. Not this one, this one. So, one of the things we can see is that everything is running as root. So anything the user downloads or installs or puts something like this on his set-top box, it will be running as root. There is no role segregation, nothing. So they are just basic. This is why they are so cheap. So the manufacturer just make it, install an OS, and have a small application that is, you know, making the user interface. Another thing is that there are no firewall on the devices. So there is no way that you hit firewall devices. So wherever if you scan, you find those devices, they have all the ports facing internet and no firewall. So for Nmap lovers, they will not have port closed or filtered or nothing. One funny fact is one of the devices I found that there was IP tables on it. I've been trying to set it working, and I've ended up finding that those config files do not exist actually on the device. So I don't know why they installed. They put them on. And the device is set up as, is read-only. The system is read-only, so you cannot even configure any firewall stuff or just change the root password or something like this. FTP, they have also FTP facing. I don't know why. And the thing is that if you just browse to the root, you will access the root device, the full root access to the device, and you can just grab inside, go. Okay. Another thing, I've been checking for some network activity, and I landed for some, I think, YCARD, one of the new protocols, protocol providers. That binary was doing some kind of DGA. So it was generating some random domain names. Actually, there was an algorithm behind and trying to connect to a specific port. So it's like there's something going wrong behind this binary. I've done some a fake DNS. I've coded a small fake DNS. So I pointed all those DNS, any query, I pointed it to my IP, and I've been looking. I've seen some encrypted, some binary streams sent. So the research is still ongoing. I'm trying to find out what's behind, actually. There's an important service too, is used to manage the device. It actually should be with authentication, but you can access it without authentication. So this is one of the service I use for fingerprinting. Once you can access to this, you can just see what the user is watching. You can stream what he's watching to another server. You can access some scheduled tasks, etc. The thing is that there are some crashes. There were some crashes I've been finding, so need to dig inside those to see if they are exploitable or no. What could possibly go wrong? So here's something are getting a little bit worse. System updates. I took a look at the process of updating the system, and like 3 devices of 5. Actually, all of them, they use ClearTer protocol. So they just go to FTP or HTTP and download the new binary, the new firmware, and just install it there. So the thing is that there is no signature, there is no, and you cannot contact the vendor. You cannot tell him about this, and they actually don't care because it's piracy at the end. I updated 3 of them to the latest firmware, and I still finding that they are stuck on an old version of BuzzyBox that is exploitable. Actually, there's an exploit running. It's old, about the DHCP client that can do a remote command execution of those boxes. So those people, when they are doing some updates, they don't care about security. They don't upgrade the system. They just update some of their functionality, like this one, better support for YouTube, better support for Facebook, and something like this. So they just do care about what the user is seeing on TV, and they do not care about security. Miscellaneous. So some other different thing is that users are, you are able to use it to browse to internet because there are a WebZil. WebZil is the most famous web browser used, where you can just, with your remote control, you can just go and browse the internet and see. But however, there is no support for security. It comes and you can install some plugins for Twitter, for Facebook, for YouTube, and things like this. But you don't know who made them. You don't know where they are coming, and you don't know what behind. I've been finding some sequelae in some IPTV plugins too, because they are just badly designed. What could possibly go wrong? So, thing is going a little bit worse. So, if we put all this together, we can see that those devices are joining Internet of Things. They are not designed in a secure manner. You cannot contact the vendor or ask them. Actually, we'll see later. Those plugins that supports protocols for card sharing, etc. We don't know who made them. We don't know who is behind. There is no support for security when you do any upgrade or update or something like this. The user doesn't care. He just wants free TV. A first overview in Algeria, you can reach like 4 million devices. You know, all people are just using those devices anywhere and everywhere. I've been even seeing some of them in a LAN area network of governmental institution, which is really critical. So they just don't care, and the user just wants TV. So that's the problem. Are we getting more? Yes. Actually, any device you will buy now, they will say, okay, here is 1 year subscription for free. So they are using this card sharing and this way to have like 200 TV channel or more for $3 or $4 a month. They are using this as a marketing point in order to sell more. So they start even offering like yearly free subscription in order. So we are getting more and more and more of those devices. I've been trying to, the only vendor I found, he has a website. That was okay. The only contact form was like this. And he says, try to say it in English. They said, okay, our team is just dedicated for you to answer you as soon as possible for all your requests. I sent it like 1 month ago, nothing. And I say it again and sent a second one and there's nothing. So, okay. A small scenario. So the thing is that if someone just puts some backdoors on those devices or just puts something inside, he can own thousands of devices at least, and they can build a big botnet. And who knows? Maybe it's already existing. So this is why the main point is to show that those devices are not secure. They have some interested software running on them, and they are connected to internet. And like, I don't know, people didn't look at them actually before. So that's the problem. Basic step to build it is easy. You just need some C++, make your plugin, just promote it on internet, throw it on forums, etc., and just wait till people come for you. There's a demo here. We will see it. Come on. Here it is. This is a second. This is a second plugin with a backdoor. Here we can see just there are like pause. Here we have like this is since I've rooted the device. I'm running the plugin into debug mode in order to see the execution. Here we have the TV show, and then I'm just listening to a port for a reverse shell. So this is a small example on how easy you can do. So once the plugin is running, if you go into TV and just switch from one channel to another, I'm switching from, when you switch from one channel, this plugin will do something and try to connect to the server to get the key to decrypt that channel. And here we go. We have our reverse shell, and we own the device, actually. So just by switching from one channel to another channel, there's something that is going behind that can do some bad stuff. Okay, where we are. Okay, I think I'm close. Okay, go. That something is going very, very wrong. I use the word fantastico because my boss asked me to use the word fantastico somewhere. So it's not so fantastico. Something is going wrong. And I need to make my boss happy. So good. What will be the result? We talked about the botnet. The thing is that when you own those devices, you own the LAN area network. I don't know any of the end users that is, capable to go and configure his router, make a DMZ or filtering or something like this. So, end users are not like you and me. We are not on some ICS stuff when they have like IT department that takes in control security and just fix something. If something there's wrong with the device, they can fix it on a network level or something like this. However, those users, they don't have any knowledge and anything like this. Did this happen before? It was reported like 3 years ago that there was like a plugin, a version, I think 2.2 or 2.3, I can't remember really. It's like what this plugin, when you install it on your device, it was going and taking all the configured account on your machine and information about your card using and send those information to an IP address, specific IP. So people actually don't know if it was some hackers that were stealing accounts and card informations and things like this, or it was like a service provider grabbing information about those cards in order to block them. In order to counterattack. So no one knows, still no job. Challenge to mitigate that, there's some work doing into encrypting the control word so people cannot extract it easily take it easily. The bad thing is that the end user, you cannot educate all the end users. You and me, we are here, we are discussing a topic like this, so we understand each other, we know the impact. But the end user, he doesn't know. He's just looking for TV, and he has no idea about the risk. And it's also not easy. You cannot put standards and policies on those softwares and those plugins, and those manufacturers, because it's all meant to piracy. And you cannot go and tell them, okay, you need to sign, you need to do this and to do this. Muchas gracias. Thank you. No questions?
¿Alguna pregunta?
Pregunta.
Levanten la mano, si no los veo.
Hi, thank you for this talk. My question is about that in one of your slides, there was a netstat command output and there was a TFTP program running, right? Okay. And did you try attacking this device, sending and modifying image through DHCP or another similar way?
So for the DHCP bug, I didn't exploit it because it's there. For the image, it's actually if you do a man in the middle, you can change it. What I've been doing for one of the provider is that those firmwares you cannot unpack them. You don't know what's the structure of the structure. I've used many different ways to unpack them, many tools. It failed. So what I've done is once I rooted one of the device, I took the binary that is responsible for the update. So that binary grabs the firmware, unpack it, and flash it to the device. So by reversing that firmware, that binary, I was able to understand how the unpacking is done, and I was able to do it externally. So once you know the structure, you can unpack and pack and just do any kind of this attack. So hope I answered. This one.
¿Alguna otra pregunta? Ahí tenemos una, dos.
Dos questions.
Chicos, los que están en el pasillo, les pido, hay un montón de sillas libres de ese lado, de este lado. Les pido que no se me queden en el medio. ¿Dónde estaba? Por acá. Me perdí.
So what's the chance of breaking your TV while trying to root it?
Breaking what, sorry?
Breaking it.
What chance to break it?
Yeah.
Okay, so for the device I'm having, there's process of validating the firmware. So if you send a wrong firmware file with a wrong header that contains some checksum calculations and some, some pointing to some specific places. So if you do that, if it's wrong, actually it will not flush it. It will not pass the process of update. However, if it's in a process of updating and you have, a power failure or something, you drop the power or something like this at that time, when it's flashing the image, here you can break it. Yeah. There's different way you can just fix it, but you can break it for a normal use break it. So you need then to open it, do some JTAG stuff and things like this to be able to repair.
Tenemos la última pregunta del Ekoparty.
Pregunta.
¿Quién va a hacer la última pregunta?
This is the last one of the Ekoparty, yeah.
Exactamente.
Último.
Bueno, un fuerte aplauso.
Gracias. Thank you. Thank you.